I recently did run into, like, it is, I would say it is a little bit scary for me to be, like, in America and dealing with these, like, gun things and stuff, because I'm not used to it. Like, I'm from Canada where, like, nobody has guns. But I recently was talking to someone, and he does say, he's like, well, we were just talking. He's like, yeah, like, well, I don't think he had it on him, actually, but I wouldn't even know. He's like, yeah, I usually do go out with a concealed weapon or whatever, or, like, I don't know what he called it, with, like, I don't know. I think he just, I know the word conceal was in there, but he was talking about guns. And to me, it was kind of freaky, but at the same time, I was like, I guess, like, a lot of Americans here just have it. And I was like, how is Michigan with the gun laws? And he's like, well, you know, it's not a state thing. He was telling me it's like, it's all of U.S., you know. She's on a fucking phone. Let's just try and make it as difficult as possible for our conversation. No, that's mean. But seriously, you're gonna fucking kill someone. I don't actually know right now if being on your phone is legal while you drive. I just see it like, oh my god, everywhere in Michigan. But it's really weird to upshift without hitting the clutch. I'm still trying to get used to it. But what was I saying? No, the gun thing. So he was telling me, oh, he needs protection, and I was like, well, you know, I guess maybe it's a thing, because, you know, I get that in the U.S. there's, like, originally because of the cowboys and all, whatever, like, everyone just had guns, you know, in the U.S. So it's been a long time coming where, you know, a lot of criminals are gonna have guns and stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe I kind of get, like, you do kind of want to protect yourself. If a lot of people have guns, you don't want to be the only one without guns. Whereas, you know, in Canada, what is happening with this thing? I guess it was a bus accident. I thought it was, like, on the wrong lane coming towards me. You should rotate that thing so it's not fucking staring at me. Yeah, but he's like, that's not even the only thing. He's like, it's like protection from the government. And because he was saying, like, you know, like, I guess there's history in the U.S. where they fought for their freedom against the British or something like that. And I'm not 100% sure, you know, about American history. Yeah, so he was saying he's like, oh, you know, he usually doesn't leave his house with a concealed weapon or whatever. And then I just, like, kind of confronted this guy because I was curious, and I'm like, I'm a total tourist, so I'll just talk to you. You know, who gives a fuck? And I was like, wait, so like, so you're telling me, like, if the government says something you don't like, you're just gonna shoot them? Like, is that the plan? I was like, is that basically what you're telling me? And he was like, oh, well, no, you know, only if it gets to that extreme situation, but it's kind of just a symbol, you know, for their freedom. And I was like, man, I still don't know how I feel about this. Like, I thought, I kind of tried to justify it originally as like, well, you know, if there's a lot of guns out there, then I can see why you want to be able to protect yourself. Just like if everyone out there in Canada was carrying guns, you know, then I wouldn't want to be the only person without guns, you know. But that's not even the case. It's about this kind of anti-establishmentarianism, I don't really know what the word means, kind of thing, you know. No, that conversation was kind of weird, and I was really, you know, kind of weirded out about it. And I think because I kept telling him, I think he felt really offended at one point that I was confronting him. I was like, oh, I'm from Canada, like, I just don't know, I'm trying to, like, understand the culture here and stuff. And, you know, I tried to be as open-minded as possible about it, but I don't know how it sits with me, to be honest. Like, it is kind of freaky knowing that the guy I was talking to may or may not actually have a gun on him at that point in time, that, like, he may or may not be stable, and he may or may not just shoot me. Like, I don't know. But he was saying, you know, it's not for that use, it's like to shoot the government or something. I don't, you know, but he's like, well, you know, it's very unlikely it'll ever get to that point where he would shoot the government, but, you know, that's what it is as a symbol for him, so that's why he has a gun. And he's like, you know, that attitude of like, don't nobody ever try and take my gun away from me, because, like, this is my symbol of my freedom, you know, to be able to carry a gun. And he's like, he really didn't understand that in Canada we don't have this. Like, he's like, what if you want to hunt? I'm like, I don't think people like, I don't know. Nobody in Toronto, at least where I'm from, just goes out hunting. Like, we don't really have this. But, you know, that was the encounter, and that was kind of interesting, a different perspective. I'm gonna go fill up gas because I'm running low. Okay. But like I said, I was kind of freaked out the fact that he had a gun. I just don't know enough, and that's one of the things I want to kind of figure out while I'm here, is to see what this is all about.